What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT. The co-host couldn't be here today. However, we're going to continue. The show must go on.
Yes, right.
We are in our 12th episode, and this is NYP Talk Show. And we're back with the brother Sharif Bey with some questions. This is part 2.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to have you here again.
I'm glad to be here, bro. I'm glad to be here.
The last one stirred up a little bit of controversy. Before we start talking about the Moorish American prayer and the questions, I would just want to say, for those who have any thing to say about Brother Sharif or what have you, you can easily get to him via email or Facebook.
Absolutely.
Would you like to give the brothers and sisters your contact information?
Sure. You can find me on the gram, on Instagram at Sharif Bey. Facebook, easy, Sharif N.I.O. Bey. You can go to the Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated website and find me on the temple locator. That would be branch temple number 11. The website is msta1913.org. So there you go.
So
or you can find me on alismen.com.
Right. So those are the many places you could find a brother.
Yes, sir.
And if you also want to come on the show and talk to Sharif Bey in front of the public, you can do. He's open to it.
I'd be honored. Absolutely. Anybody. Absolutely.
So the invitation is there. Now I want to go. We opened up with the Moorish American prayer. And
Yes.
one thing that you said that was significant about the Moorish American prayer is that, what did you say, brother?
So, it's powerful. You and I had a conversation before about, in another conversation about self-study and about, and self-study can get you some places. It definitely can, but, it's better when you actually enroll in the school where the literature is a part of the learning experience, because there's some things that you don't get outside of the school, So I had asked, for the viewers, I had asked the brother the question. I said, well, what's significant about this prayer that distinguishes it from most of our ideas of praying, right? And, he mentioned our posture. Absolutely. We're not bowing. We're standing straight up. We're not closing our eyes. We got our eyes open. These are things. So that's the manner. But the prayer itself, right? And I mentioned, I said, this is something that we overlook when we say the prayer, this particular prayer. We're not asking for anything. That's what makes it significant. And I'm going to go into a little detail about that. What is it then? It's an affirmation. That's what it is. It's an affirmation. And why affirmations are so powerful, some of you know why affirmations are powerful, because they program you to be in a state of gratitude. Well, when you cultivate a state of gratitude, you are cultivating the environment in your mind and in your body that you've already received the thing. You see, that you're already in possession of the thing. Why is that important? Here's the example. When you, let's take it, you have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. One works when everything is normal. The other kicks in when there's danger.
Right.
When there's danger, it shuts down all the things that are extraneous, and it focuses on, you being able to hide, run, or fight. And it's designed only to last for 15 seconds, 20 seconds tops. That's what it's designed to do. Then after that, what do? It's just like when you see wild animals, they escape from danger, they rest. They recover because it takes a strain on you. Now, when you, let's say you're stuck in a cave and there's a lion outside the cave. Oh, you're in that state, but you're in that state for a prolonged period of time because the lion's out there. Well, that's what stress does to us. You see, stress is the thought of a condition that hasn't even appeared yet. And like Prophet Ali taught us, the thought of affliction harms worse than the affliction itself. Right? So I'm thinking that, okay, a bad situation's about to happen. My body doesn't know the difference.
More, I have to interject. The
Yeah.
reason is because there's a guy out there by the name of Joe Dispenza who
Mm,
talks about the same. That's his whole ministry,
get
basically.
out of here. That's
He
crazy.
talks about how emotions and fears and things of that nature are trapped in the body, and you're no longer your mind anymore. You're your body. You know what I'm saying? Like your body takes over.
That's real.
And I think that's
Yo,
a
bro.
deep
So
into
it works the opposite. We could use it to our advantage now.
right.
So when I cultivate a state of gratitude, get it?
Yeah.
When I say Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day, that means I'm good. I'm safe. You see what I'm saying? If I say it with sincerity, that means I'm cultivating a state of gratitude as if I already have the protection. And my body doesn't know the difference.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Exactly.
what does that go to? That goes back into the teaching in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science of America, where Jesus is talking to Lamas in chapter 7. People think I'm waxing religious right now. It's okay, right? Where he says that heaven and earth, you can ask them what is wisdom? Wisdom is the concept that Allah and man are one, right? And then another part of the answer, he says that heaven, earth, and hell are not above, around, or below, but within.
Right.
Woo! What does that mean? It refers exactly to the process I'm talking about right now. Here's another example. I'm looking at your shirt. You got a polo shirt on. It's got a red jockey on it.
Yeah.
Why is it red to me, to my eyes? Because it's made of a material that absorbs every color in the spectrum but red and reflects red back to my eye. But guess what says it's red? My ocular nerve that speaks to my brain. So I actually only see the red inside my head. Everything we see out here, right, and can distinguish is interpreted inside of our heads. That's deep. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
crazy. Because we presume, you get it? You get it? What do we presume that, oh, it's red because it's red out there? No, it's red in here.
Right.
This shirt is blue in your mind, period.
Right.
And that's the truth. So the outside world literally is a projection of my inside thoughts. Literally. That's not just religion, that's science. And in the old world, there was no distinction between the two. See?
All of the above is caused by the Son of Man.
All of the above is caused by the Son of Man. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yep. Well, that's see, I need the sound effects, man. Damn, dropped in the bombs. So let's go into nationality. The difference between nationality and oh my god, what's the word I'm missing here? The difference between nationality
Mm-hmm.
and it starts with an E. I'm just losing my train of thought.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. Nationality, the difference between nationality and ethnicity.
Great question. See, first I want to preface the question with this. Like when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali says he came to teach us of our nationality, right? The that's not an end. That's a means to an end. You see? The means is a means. Nationality is a means. And the end result is the uniting of the Asiatic people in the states of North America. Just like all the Germans, no matter what state they're in America, all the German Americans are united under the nationality of what? German. See? So let's take, I've used this analogy before, I'll use it again. Let's just say Italy. Inside Italy, you have distinctions amongst Italian citizens. Those distinctions would be ethnic. You've got Sicilian, you've got Calabrese, you see, those are ethnic groups within Italy. But how are all of these ethnic groups known outside of Italy?
Through
Italian.
nationality.
Exactly. See? Because it unifies. It unifies. That is the difference. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the purpose. It unifies people. It brings people together. It brings us, in this case, nationality generally is how, that's why Prophet Durali says nationality is the foundation of humanity, because humanity is a collective unit. Collective, many people. How does it organize into a unit? By nations and tribes. That's how.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
All right. So now you already explained why it's important. Why not FBA versus Moorish American? I know we kind of touched on that last time. However, I really want to bring this like home, and I want to, talk to those who are FBA, who consider themselves FBA.
FBA, ADOS, BIPOC. First, you got to salute them. And I say that to say this. You got to salute them because they're understanding or growing into or coming into the understanding, however they do, that our issue is not, the results or the residue of slavery. Our issue is identity crisis. You see, that's our issue. So salute to them for starting to see that. Right now, the downsides of those three is that they have a lot of trouble, a lot of issues in unification. So like our brother Mikey, he would not be considered FBA because of his Haitian background, his Haitian ancestry.
Right.
You see, so no unification, there's a struggle with unification there.
Right. But wouldn't you say that, the Muslims of America or Moors from America, Moorish, from North America,
yes,
has I would say a more, I would say, special argument in this case, considering that they came from North America and, their ancestors contributed to the economy here in America through slavery, free labor, etc.
I agree. Now, here's the thing, right? You're a martial artist like me. So if this is the target and this is hitting the target, if I just punch at the surface of the target, how much damage do I do? How effective am I? Not so effective. Right. If I punch at a point behind, I get everything in between.
Right.
That is the meaning of the prophet's teaching, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. You get all the material stuff. If you just aim at the material stuff, you're going to be biting at crumbs. You're not going to make much movement, right? But if you chase the principle, you get all the material in the process. So what is the covenant of the great God Allah? Honor thy father and thy mother. How do we honor our forefathers and foremothers? In name and in principle. You see? So FBA, ADOS, right, BIPOC, where they fall short in that respect is that they're still giving themselves an identifier that's based on a former condition of servitude. It's culturally and historically ambiguous. It doesn't connect them to the families and nations. It keeps you right there as a descendant of a product of American commerce. That's the problem.
Right.
Now, when you say, hey, we go back to these people specific, when you can put your finger right on it, not just generalized Africa. We are descendants of Africans, by the way. Make no mistake about it. However it happened, pre-Columbus, post-slavery, during slavery, all of the above. See that? All of the above. So anyway, when we can connect ourselves to the families of nations now, specifically, be very specific, then now we can make a real claim. And it's a claim that does not exclude our Haitian brothers, our Dominican brothers, our Guyanese brothers. It doesn't exclude them because they were all part of the denationalization. All of them were part of it. So we're not just talking about reparations for actual chattel slavery. It's bigger than that. It's cutting you off from being a nation. Denationalization is the crime. Losing your identity is the crime. See that?
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. All right. So let's go into. We already spoke on the legal right. Did we speak on the legal rights as a religious-based group? So, like, you know, I'm gonna be straight up. One of the guards told me. One of the older guards.
Yes, sir.
Said to me, you know, now this is not all. This is not the opinion of all guards in the 5% Nation. However, his opinion was, that's their religion over there, and we are our culture over here. First of all, what's the difference between religion and culture?
Good.
And what are the religious privileges or freedoms we get from,
Right.
coming under a religious organization?
Good. That's a great question. First and foremost, what some of us, especially out of that school of thought, because it's part of that school of thought, we fall, and I have to say it that way, we fall into the idea or thought that when you say religious, that's analogous to spooky. So right off top, it's like they'll say, oh, well, that's their religion, is our culture. So they're spooky, we're not. That's what's really being said. But what you really have to do is ask, wait a minute, like my brother Dr. Wesley Muhammad has said on numerous occasions, how do you do religion? You see what I'm saying? Like, again, I quote, heaven, earth, and hell are not above, round, below, but within. Heaven and hell are both states of mind. That means my heaven is right here, right now, depending on my state of mind. Well, that ain't no different from my culture is I God, is it? When I said man and Allah are one, that's part of my religious tenet. See? Now, it's not just me think that. It's now I broadcast that, but not through words. I broadcast it through my daily living, through my interactions with society. I broadcast that man and Allah are one. How I live. What is that? Culture. So let's speak religious terms specifically, Islamic terms. You have Mila, which is the Arabic word for faith. Then you have Deen, which is the Arabic word for what? Expression of the faith. Get it? So the Quran of Mecca says, to you be your deen, to me be mine. A lot of times that's translated as to you be your religion, to me be mine. It means you be your way to express the one faith. And I have my way of expressing the one faith. It's still the one faith. What is that faith? Allah and man are one. How do I express it? Okay, as long as it reflects the faith, then all is well. But so I said all that to say this. In essence, ain't no difference between culture and religion, especially in this respect, because religion is how you live out your faith. And that's culture.
I made this argument with my daughter's teacher that religion and culture is different.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I stated that is because you could be religious.
Yes.
You could claim to be religious, right, and
Mm-hmm.
not really live out the faith, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
With culture, this is like every single day. This is like I walk, talk, and I breathe this. This is an everyday life.
I can agree with you. I can agree with you in that sense. We're actually saying the same thing. But what you're pointing out is somebody we would call, or an action we would call hypocrisy. Get it?
Right.
So what you have is people that are practicing the outward practice with no real faith. You see? That means their heart and their tongue are at variance. I'm thinking one way, but I'm saying something else. I'm lying to myself. That's a hypocrite.
Right.
See, if my religion, the word religion in and of itself is two Latin words, re meaning to do again, legere meaning to tie or bind. You see? And like, so the prophet said to redeem man from his sinful and fallen state of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God, Allah. That's religion. We're trying to reconnect with the God self. So I could say it, but if I'm just saying it or thinking it, it's just a good idea. That's those people that say that they're spiritual but not religious. That's like when your father and mother saw each other and saw the twinkling, each one had the twinkle in the eye, but they kept it moving. You just be a good idea. Ain't no action behind it, and the action is religion. The action is the expression of the faith. And faith without works is dead. You see? So and I'll take it a step further, brother. Everybody has religion, even atheists. Right? We say man's ideal is his God. So you got people that, hey, they worship sex. That's their religion. That's their God. See what I'm saying? Some money, some drugs, some whatever. We want our idea to be the supreme idea, and that's Allah. Get it?
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right. I'm pretty sure people will disagree with that.
I'm sure.
And you know what? I don't want my platform to be a platform that, you know, people come up here to debate all the time. However, if one of the 5%ers would like to come up and build on this,
I would love to, because again, I'm of the 5% by definition of it.
Right.
I'm of the 5%.
Right.
You know, and I come from that school of thought too. You see? I'd love to. We used to your point, years ago, I was part of a Moorish American prison ministry in a local prison upstate New York in Auburn. And it was because, you know, we were asked to come to the prison because, you know, the guards ain't I mean, especially when you got to sit down for 10, 15, 20 years or more, you know, you studying, you're researching. Right. And you know, in New York, 5%, the Nation of Gods and Earth, is considered a security threat group, right? So they were prohibiting in certain prisons, prohibiting them from meeting and gathering. So it's one particular brother, right? Father Tahim, shout out to Tahim, right? He was doing some research and said, wait a minute, the Moorish Science Temple of America can meet. So they said, okay, that's what we are. We're the Moorish Science Temple of America. They started meeting. But then
Tahim?
Yeah, Tahim.
He's Latin brother?
No, sir. That's no, not him.
All right.
Not him. So the chaplain caught on. Chaplain caught on and said, you guys got to reach out to an actual temple, you know, to help conduct your meetings. And so that's how we got pulled in. So of course we ended up having dialogue. You know, I'll leave that for another show. But yeah, but you know, again, you know, I have the highest respect for the Nation of Gods and Earth, the 5% nation. I came out of that whole thing. I am of the 5%. So
right.
Yes, sir.
I still say my culture is our God.
Nothing wrong with that. We say
to me, yeah. I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
The 5% teachings of our God and Moorish science, they go like it's like I don't know. It's like this. I don't know why people can't see it. It's like it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
See, so now you pulled it out of me. Here we go. Right. We were holding Friday and Sunday meetings, and then we're also holding Wednesday study meetings. That's where you get to crack atoms. You know, you get to ask all the nice questions. So the gods came in full force. You hear me? That first time we had it. And they were like, listen, we know you speak the language. We know you speak. I said, yes, sir. And they said, okay, we got two major issues with the Nation Moorish Science Temple of America's teachings. Two. One of them, black according to science means deaf. Right? Because they'll quote student enrollment. Who's the original man? The original man is Asiatic black man. Make all and cream of the planet Earth, follow civilization, God of the universe. Okay, cool. They said the other one we don't have as much of a problem with that one as we have with this second one. You all say in your questionnaire, who made you? Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is Father of the universe. Can we see him? No.
That
We
right
say,
here. Hold up. Hold up. That goes to my next question. Is Allah a mystery God?
Woo! So now I'm getting right to it. So they said, you know what we say? Lost Found lesson number 2, the 1 to 40, right? Why does the devil teach that Almighty true and living God is spook can't be seen with the physical eye? You know the answer, right? But the last part of the answer says, he is not unseen. He is seen and heard everywhere, for he is the all-eye seeing, right? He said, how do you address those? So the first one, you know, I dealt with the black thing. I said, well, the original Supreme Wisdom lessons, it says, who's the original man? And the answer says, the original man is the Asiatic. And then in parentheses, it said black. And then man. And then one of the older gods is like, you know what? He's right. I said, all right. I said, all right. I said, now the second one, can we see him? No. I said, listen, do you agree? I said, let's use Elijah Muhammad's words, science. We go from the known to the unknown. All right, so let's go with what we know. You said that man is God. They say yes. I said, okay. I said, we say Allah and man are one. Same thing, right? They're like, yes. I said, but guess what, people? It's easy to say man is God. They looked at me crazy. I said, no, it's easy to say man is God. Here's the real question. Okay, man is God, but what is man?
Wait, hold. Man is God.
But what is man?
Man,
arm,
leg, arm, head.
Yeah, but a dog has that. See?
The supreme head of intelligence is Allah, though.
Okay, but it can't simply be arm, leg, arm, head, can it?
No, it deals with intellect.
Is intellect physical? Uh-oh.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna tell you why it is. Because you're using your brain.
No, that's the result. That's the result. You're talking about two different things now. It's like, can I see anger? No. But can you make an angry face? Yes.
Okay.
The angry face is a reflection of something that's non-physical. Here, I took it a step further. I used Elijah Muhammad's own lesson on the self-creation of the first God. I used that to end the conversation. I said, okay, we all know the teaching. Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught that there was triple darkness, but that darkness was a substantive darkness, meaning it had material. It wasn't empty. Triple darkness, and each rotating at a particular rate of speed. And the middle darkness inside sparked an atom of life, and that atom of light.
I don't mean to cut you off. I normally don't really do that, but
no problem.
Make sure I say this. From what I know, 120 is 120, and supreme wisdom is supreme wisdom. Now, are they the same?
Pretty much.
Technically, yeah. However, Allah divinely prepared.
I like that.
120. And so to pull from the Nation of Islam's teachings, as opposed to pulling more from the 5% teachings, which starts with supreme mathematics and everything follows behind that.
Correct.
I think that's where there's a misunderstanding.
But the teaching on the self-creation of God in triple darkness is taught by the 5% nation. And they acknowledge that it came from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why I used it, because they were familiar. See? That's why I used it. So that atom of life in the middle stage sparks and begins to rotate. And over billions of years, it grows for itself a brain, then a body, right? They say that is the self-creation of the first God. But now let's analyze those words, and let's analyze the direct implications of that. The self-creation of the first God. That means he created himself. Am I right?
Yeah.
What's the presumption, brother? He existed before he had a body. That's
right.
the presumption.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Got you. All right. So intellect is the mind.
It's a faculty of the mind. The mind and the brain are not the same. Now, some people would argue that the brain generates the mind. I disagree.
I say the mind is the conduit for the mind to the body.
I can agree with that, and quantum physics also agrees. See, but I can prove real simple that there's a difference between intelligence and a brain. I can prove that. I can prove that intelligence or intelligence is not a product of a physical brain, because the sperm cell has intelligence and doesn't have a brain.
Right, that's true. Right. Also, the solar system doesn't have a brain.
How about that? Not a physical brain as we know it, but it does have a mind.
Right.
Okay.
All right. You win.
So in other words, watch this. It's just perspective of the attention, right? What the teachings of the Nation of Islam do, right? And what it does is it brings your consciousness into a solid state of where you are right at this moment, right here, right now.
Right. And how you relate to the rest of the world.
I got to respect that.
Yeah.
What Drew Ali's teaching was, it's the same body of knowledge in this respect, but the perspective is different. Drew Ali's teaching on the matter, right, puts your attention into pre-creation space. In other words, to use physics, quantum physics terms, the way Elijah Muhammad's focus was that his focus was from non-locality to locality, to a point, right? Prophet Drew Ali's was the opposite. Said, no, we come from non-locality. We come from omnipresence. We come from omnipotence.
Well, that's the same thing our God comes from. It's the same point of our God.
Of course, but it just places your perception in two different places. That's all. You get it? Yeah. You're in Westchester,
two different times.
You're in Westchester County. I'm in Syracuse, New York. But where you get it, there you go. That's all.
Yeah.
That is it.
The Prophet came out 1913. And Allah came around 1964. Yeah.
And see, what ends up happening is this too, brother. Like what we just did with the compare contrast of those two teachings, right? By the way, the whole teaching of the self-creation of the first God is chapter 1 of the Holy Quran of Moorish Americans of America. Period. I'm not saying that that's where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got it. I didn't say that. I'm saying it's essentially the same teaching. Plane of spirit, plane of soul, plane of things made manifest. And Allah, the husbandman of everything there is, cast forth the human seed into the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul and became Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. And then on the border of that plane, the ethers grew. Come on, bro. That's what it is. It's the same teaching. But guess what we have to do? We got to go to the schools to be able to dig deep enough to see it. Yeah. Like I like how you said, the whole culture is our God. And that is Islamic thought. Islam meaning what? Islam meaning peace, but on a deeper level, the root words sim, lam, mim, those three letters, Arabic letters, imply oneness, completeness, and wholeness, oneness. So a Muslim or a Muslim is one who seeks the peace, which means what? Seeks the oneness, seeks the resolution of opposites, seeks where we agree as opposed to where we disagree. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. That's Islam. That's peace. That's right. That's a fact.
Now let's go into the Aquarian Gospel and the Circle 7.
Yes, sir.
All right. What is the difference? Now, might I add, the prophet did say these lessons are, I think I forgot the quote, but divinely prepared. Divinely prepared.
Finally
Now,
prepared. The same way that Prophet Muhammad, did. You know what he was accused of in his lifetime? Plagiarizing Jewish and Christian literature. Same thing. Same thing.
Nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new under the sun. Same thing. He was accused of the same thing. He said, "We know these traditions. We know this. This isn't new." You see what I'm saying? Same thing they're saying about the Prophet John. Oh, he plagiarized that from Levi Dowling. It's the Aquarian Gospel. And and this kind of ignorant arrogance, first off, it dulls you from doing the most important thing. Let's just say, and I'm going to get into it, but let's just say for argument's sake, he did take it from Levi Dowling. Let's just say for argument's sake, he did, right? Mm-hmm. Whose teaching is it anyway? Whose perspective and narrative is it anyway? Was it Levi Dowling's or was it your forefathers?
Right.
And it's not the possessing of the thing, it's the knowing of its use. So when we look at it in a derisive point of view, that just came from Levi Dowling. We never cracked the book to get the jewels. So you lose.
I think it's because it's coming from us.
That's
the sickness.
You know what? I'm gonna quote. This is a little known quote from Marcus Garvey. We call Marcus Garvey the harbinger, the forerunner of Prophet Drew Ali. A little known quote from Marcus Garvey. He said, "The Negro," right? He said, "The propensity of the Negro is to disobey orders coming from himself."
Where can I find that one? Right
I'll get it to you.
I need to post that every day.
Yes, sir.
Because Marcus Garvey, there's a problem with that. 5%, the law. Problem with that. Elijah, problem with that.
Right.
Sharif, problem with that. Like,
yeah, we let any other national group check us, no problem.
Right.
Except ourselves. How about that?
Yeah.
That's called hate. That's why the prophet said we need to learn to love instead of hate.
This is not my question. This wasn't in the questions, but
right.
How do you see that? Like learning how to love instead of hate.
Let's use it. Go ahead.
Because even myself, to be quite honest with you, I'm a loving person in general, right? Like, so I love people. Right?
Yes, sir.
But lower self, we all have that other side or what have you, right?
Yes, sir.
And I have to really learn how to. I already know how to deal with people, However, like there's the side that says, oh man, this person could have did this a little bit, and I'm learning how to understand that this person may be going through something, and learning how to just deal with people more in a warm current.
Right. Here, follow me. And it goes back to the European psychology and the effect it's had on us. We have to acknowledge that. But we've grown up in it, so to us, it's normal. So not only are we fighting the European psychology, we're fighting the fact that it's abnormal when we grew up in it and take it as normal. You're fighting two things. Like I got students that will go off by themselves. I'll teach them something new. They'll go off by themselves and practice a mistake, but practice their practice to death, and then come back a month later, and I'm like, that's wrong. And they literally believe that that's how I taught them. I'm like, no, it's wrong. And then I show them, they're like, oh, that's okay, fix it. And they can't fix it. You know why? Because they practiced the wrong thing for so long. They literally have to unpractice it. They got to burn it out and then start from scratch. You see, two things here. You see, the wrong thing, and the fact that they burnt it into their flesh. So that's us with the European psychology. Now, that being said, even some of our most diehard, strong RBG brothers and sisters, ask them this, and if they're honest, they're going to pretty much all answer a particular way. Right? Even you yourself. I'm going to say 3 words, and I want you to tell me the images and the words that immediately come to your mind. Mm-hmm. Young black male. Right. Right. Oh. Right. We need to learn
an experiment.
Ain't that crazy?
But the first thought I had was a young, nice man, and then it went straight to rapper after that.
European psychology is something else, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so deep, we don't see it. It's like viruses on your computer. They're running, you're just not on the screen. You don't know they're there.
Yeah, Nelly Fuller talks about that.
Yes. Nelly Fuller, giant in our community as it relates to this stuff, about in terms of psychology.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes,
that's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
Nelly Fuller.
So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, love. So we have to learn to love. Mm-hmm. Where does it start? In the mirror. We think we love ourselves. You get it? We think we do, but what did I just say? I said young black male. Yeah. Well, society says that's you.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Right. Right. We need to learn to love ourselves. We have to learn, bro. It's something we have to learn. It ain't just something automatic. Because guess what it takes now? Think about it. Because I already know it was going through your head. That negative hit, and then you have to exert here to think something positive.
That was the first hit. I'm not going to lie. The first thing I said, boom, what? And then I said, hold on.
Right.
Nice young brother. Then it went into the images that I see on social media with the kids with the guns on and all that.
And if you see that, what do other national groups in America see? Get it? The Moorish movement is a movement in the war of narratives to change that narrative.
Ooh. If I had the bomb. Can you say that again? Can you say that again?
We're in a war of narratives.
We're in a war of narratives.
And we're in the war to change. Our objective is to change the narrative.
Right. So that's why going to the temple is extremely important. So you can get those, what did you say earlier on the phone? It's not the lessons. So you can get what did you say?
Instructions.
Get the instructions. And
then you live out
the
instructions. You apply the instructions in your life. The result you get back is the lesson.
Right. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Come on, bro.
To the 5% nation.
Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is not information.
Right.
It's not information.
Right.
That's a fact.
Knowledge is the information. Wisdom, you live it out.
Understanding is the best part. That's the fruit.
Right.
It's the result.
That's the lesson.
See that?
Understanding. Right.
That's the lesson.
And we're not mixing teachings, by the way. It's just
not at all.
It just correlates.
It's just fitting. That's right. That's right.
Wow. Okay. Learn how to love. So how do we learn how to love, brother?
It begins with first addressing the psychology. And that is where Prophet Drew Ali was a master. You know what I mean? Whether he knew exactly what he was doing or he was just, what we would call auto-suggestive behavior. He was being guided. However, doesn't matter. The fact that we have what we have and can do with it what we do with it demonstrates his mastery, right? Demonstrates his intelligence. So he's addressing the psychology. You get it? That's what he's addressing. So, like I mentioned in our last show, we were around when some of our friends, we gave them nicknames or they gave us a nickname. It took 0.03 seconds for you to start acting like the nickname. Right. So there's qualities that come with a name. There's stigmas that come with it. A Pookie is always a Pookie. You know what I'm saying? You get it?
Right.
Whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not, it is what it is.
Yes.
And I can prove it that we can even see, in a way we can even see it. Coming up, you had the proper talking kid in your school. What did we say he was doing? Talking white. What in the world is that?
I never understood it growing up.
Right.
I never understood it. I like talking white.
Okay. Right.
However, I didn't want to talk white because I didn't want to be categorized as the guy talking white.
How about that? So now what do? You close the prison gate on yourself.
Right. And then you're like, yo, B, what up? That.
Literally, let's just call it what it is. If you sound intelligent, you're talking white. You sound ignorant, now you black.
Right.
So we have to identify these things specifically, right? Well, here's a better way to address it. Instead of doing that, we'll be at it for all of our lives. Here's a better way. How about we just insert the missing parts of history? How about we talk about this guy? We talk about a man named Abu Hassan Ali ibn Nafi. Long name. He had a nickname, though. His nickname was Al-Zuryab. Well, who was he? He was a guy that was born in Baghdad, right, around 800 AD. He was born in Baghdad. So right off top, what are you thinking? Oh, some kind of Arab guy.
Yeah.
Right. He was born in Baghdad. He was educated in North Africa, lived a lot of his life in Spain. Starts to get interesting now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's the guy, single-handedly. He introduced Europe to the current norms of dining etiquette. I'm talking about the 3-course meal, the salad, main course, dessert. He did that. He laid nearly single-handedly the groundwork for traditional Spanish music. He memorized and played over 10,000 songs. He invented a popular type of toothpaste. He developed the world's first underarm deodorant. He popularized shaving for men. He introduced perfumes to the European continent. Created the structure I mentioned, the traditional 3-course meal, encouraged drinking from fine glassware and crystal instead of metal goblets. He introduced etiquette and polite conversation at the dinner table. And although his impact spread throughout Europe, most Europeans had no idea who sparked these changes in culture, customs, and manners. Do you know what Al-Zuryab means, his nickname? You know what it means?
No.
The Blackbird. That means one of your forefathers, brother, and one of my forefathers introduced these things. In other words, guess what he introduced, brother? He introduced the proper talking to Europe. So when I talk proper, guess what I'm doing? I'm emulating my forefathers, not talking white. See, that's the better way and the more accurate way to address the maladaptive behavior. Just give the right history.
Right. I want to go into why use the Moroccan flag?
Okay, now to be specific, We don't say Moroccan flag. We say the Moorish flag, and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
Right?
before you go there,
Go ahead.
this has always been my issue with the Moorish movement.
Go ahead. Tell me.
The Moorish flag, Moroccan flag, and the Moorish flag to me looks the same.
Okay.
Some
Some people are going to get upset with me on this.
I can't fly. Me personally, I don't want to fly that flag because I don't see how it pertains to us, how it matches with our history.
Here we go. Right. So I say Moorish flag as opposed to Moroccan flag for one major reason. First, well, two major reasons. One, the prophet said, what kind of flag is the Moorish? There we go. Mm-hmm. So that's me as a believer and as a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Right? As a researcher, I say Moorish over Moroccan. Why? Because we're talking about two periods of development. We're talking about old world versus new world. Right? So present-day Morocco is the Kingdom of Morocco, which had its creation in 1956. Prophet was teaching in 1913. As far as our records and research go, the earliest that he was flying that flag that we know of, that we can prove, is 1925. Right? Is that flag that old in Morocco? Yep. We can prove that too. We could show that flag over there on those shores as early as 1912. Red flag, 5-pointed green star in the center. So essentially, in terms of visual, is it the same flag? Yes. Some people argue, no, there's a black border. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue that.
Down the star.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
I know the research we did. We've got record of that flag being utilized in Morocco during the Rif Wars and even before the Rif Wars. 1912, and it ain't no upside down star, and it's not a Star of David. It's a 5-pointed green star. Now, why do we say Moorish? Because what is our connection to Morocco? Our connection to Morocco is old world connection, and this is another gap in our education. This is another gap in our education, right? The last one of the last empires. See, empires, kingdoms, and dominions, that's old world political geography. Today, new world political geography is nation state, sovereign nation. Get it? All right. As a point of information for everybody, you know, the very first modern nation state on the planet was Spain. 2 kingdoms merged together. And that was the Kingdom of Aragon and the Kingdom of Castile with the marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella. Why did they do that? To kick us out of Spain, finally in 1492. That's why they did it. And the Europeans at that day called it, their marriage, the second coming of Christ. That's what they called it. Deep. Now, one of the last empires, empires in the world was what? The British Empire. That's, right. I say one of them. Yeah. That was one of the last empires, was the British Empire, right? Mm-hmm. Now, follow me. Right now, it's not called the British Empire. It's called the what? United Kingdom. But what are the people called that live in the United Kingdom? What are they called? Brits.
Oh.
Yeah. Or British. Meaning what? Descendants of Britons.
Yeah. Okay.
And born in the United Kingdom. Sound familiar, brother? Why are we Moorish Americans? We are descendants of Moroccans and born in America.
I like how you did that. Now I got to rewind that right there. That was damn.
You see?
All right.
The prophet was intelligent and he was logical. But again, we can only perceive the logic and intelligence if we avail ourselves the proper education.
Right.
If we don't know about empires, kingdoms, and dominions being old world, like for instance, one of the major last ones, as a matter of fact, the last one, that really put the world back, or put the world all the way forward into new world, where the European was really, really, really ruling the world? Guess when that was? When Teddy Roosevelt put the hammer down on the Ottoman Empire. That's when it happened, people. See, the Ottoman Empire was that was an Islamic empire. It was what was it? It was one of the last vestiges of our old world civilization. Teddy Roosevelt put the kibosh on it. Oh, not Teddy. Theodore. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that is Teddy. Theodore Roosevelt. He's the one that put the end to that. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So
Theodore Roosevelt, wasn't he? If I'm wrong, pardon me. Wasn't he also the one who what was that? 1933.
No, that's Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Franklin D. Roosevelt.
That's
Gotcha.
FDR, right? That's FDR.
Right.
No, before Teddy, Theodore Roosevelt. We're talking World War I era.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So this is all important stuff, because then we can find ourselves where we are in world history. But see, we're given these directions to look in this. Look how thin it is. But it doesn't have to be a history book. It's a psychology book. It tells you where to look. It gives you the right narratives, so you know where to look now. You see what I'm saying? And then when you look there, you're like, oh my God, it's right here, right in my face.
Brother, a lot of stuff that you're saying, I would encourage you to go check out Brother Joe Dispenza. When you read or just watch his material, you're gonna go, whoa, like,
okay,
it all comes together. But anyway,
that's deep.
You got to check him out. Does more mean black?
No, that's the short answer. The long answer is this, right? Does Muslim mean, or Muslim mean one who submits to the will of God? Short answer, no. Doesn't mean that. What has happened is that over time, it has come to mean that in common usage. Two different things. See, if we analyze if we analyze the word Muslim, again, coming from the same root as Islam, Sim Lam Mim, right? Muslim means one who seeks peace, one who seeks oneness, one who seeks unity. That's what it means. Now, submission is a part of that. Submission's a part of that process, but the word itself does not mean one who submits to the will of Allah. Is a Muslim or Muslim one who submits? Yes, but that's not what the word means. Get it?
Got you.
All right. The Greeks, Strabo, 1st century BC, those guys, when they ran into the people, the Moorish people, the people of Mauritania. See, they said those people called themselves Maori, and their skin is dark, near pitch black. Get it? So they began to be known as the association, more black, more black, more black. There you go. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Let's say it does mean black, right? Say it does. For modern day identification purposes. Let's say it does mean black. Argument's sake. One of those words comes with the stigma of servitude. The other word comes with a history and a culture and a connection to the world history and the families and nations.
And that's pretty simple, right?
It's simple, bro. It's simple. It's simple.
And I just want to add, before we move on.
Yes, sir.
This red and blue, we didn't plan this. We
sure
did not. I had no idea you were gonna have black colors on.
Sure did. That's right. That's right.
So, Brother Sharif, I just want you to let people know where you're from. Not where you're from, but where they can find you and all the good things you got going on. You could run
Yes,
it down
sir.
to the people, explain to them real quick.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm your brother. I'm a soldier. I strive to be a soldier. That's it. Um, I'm the local Grand Chief of Branch Temple Number 11, Moorish Temple of America Incorporated, under the leadership of my brother. And in many ways a mentor, and that's Brother R. Jones Bay. And I'm the owner of and chief instructor of Syracuse Kung Fu, which is the upstate New York representative of Yi's Hongai International Kung Fu Association. Another man who's like a father figure, my instructor, his name is Frank Yi Wai from Toisan City and from Hong Kong, People's Republic of China. I'm one of the founding members of the research team and think tank Ali's Men. And I have to say it that way. Research and think tank, because a lot of times, like, okay, the debate I did with Brother Reggie on Sinetta's, platform, back in 2016, 80% of that victory had nothing to do with material, had nothing to do with information, had everything to do with psychology. Everything to do with psychology. So it's not just, okay, you got the material. There has to be methodology behind it, and there has to be a narrative that makes sense. See? So it's not just info, it's a think tank. How to think. How to think. Prophet Drew Ali said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourselves. Whoa. That sounds offensive. Like I can't think. But here's the thing. We think we're thinking because there are thoughts in our head. Anyone who studies marketing knows that not to be the case.
Right.
Because the whole purpose of marketing is to put somebody else's thought in your head.
Right.
See? We're suffering from the fact that somebody else's thought is in our head.
Right.
See that? That's it. So we have to